Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. This is fun, right?
Yes, love you.
I love you. Oh my God. So I am so excited to be here with you today. And and, and with my tribe, it's so great. Susan Stevens, founder of the Breakdown to Breakthrough program. I'm super excited today to be here with one of my former students, now friend, Melissa Christopher.
Hello.
And basically we met, I guess, last September. We were trying to figure out the date. How did we meet? It was over Facebook.
Yes, I saw, and I'm so honored to be here because you are amazing. Yes, I think that I saw one of your posts and I was just so moved by it because I think you were talking about, just so authentically talking about like the trauma that you'd gone through, the things that you'd gone through. And I was like, yes, because I think it's rare to see somebody be so authentic and so real and sharing so honestly about the things they've gone through. And so when I saw that video of yours, I was immediately drawn to want to connect to you because of what you had talked about and just your healing work and the process. And that's, I think, how we connected.
It was love.
Yeah. It was
It
meant
was
to be.
love. Yeah, it was really interesting because Melissa was a visibility coach, was and is a visibility coach, and she has infectious energy, I would say. And yeah, and so it was just so wonderful meeting you and connecting with you. And it was like we had an instant energetic connection right off the hop. But maybe share. So today I invited Melissa on here to be like, to share a little bit about what was going on for her, why she decided to come in and work with me and come into the program, and also share with you a little bit about what she got out of it and how it changed her life in different ways. So just share with my like community, like what was going on for you, what inspires you to look for support and counseling and all of the above.
Yeah. So I think, you know, I had been through a lot of programs before, a lot of masterminds, a lot of bigger programs. And I think as a newer coach, it's like you have this dream in your heart, you want to help people. And so you kind of see these different programs and they promise you different things. And
Oh
I
yeah.
had spent a lot of money on different programs. And when I graduated them, I felt like I just almost more lost than when I started. It was like I had this dream, I had this vision, I wanted to create this business, but I also had so much inner work, so much, I'm not going to say baggage, but so much there that was
Extra.
kind of keeping me from really stepping into this version of myself as a coach, as a leader. And so I realized that there was a lot of inner work that needed to be done. And so when I saw your video, when we started to connect and I saw the work that you did, I was so inspired and intrigued to talk to you. And when we jumped on the phone, we talked about your program and you talked about, what you do and the work that you do and how you help your clients get to the root cause of what is there for them. Why do they have fear? Why do they have doubt? Where is that coming from? I knew that, working with you, jumping in this program was like the next and absolute step I needed to take. And I was all about it, just to dive in. And it was just, I cannot even explain how transformative your program has been in my life, and you as my coach has been in my life, and the work that we've done. I mean, you honestly changed my life. You have changed my life more than I could ever explain. and I'm not going to cry right now. You know, a lot of the work that Susan does, I mean, it's beautiful in her program, but she really focuses on inner child work and, you know, just having someone love and support you so much as you're working to understand the things that have held you back for so long was the most beautiful gift I could ever have. um, and it has truly transformed my life because it finally gave me an understanding um, of, you know, these parts of myself, this younger part of myself that was so afraid to step forward to be a coach. And I, ironically enough, I'm a visibility coach, but the reason I got into that was recognizing and realizing how much fear I had.
Yes.
To be seen, to be heard, to let myself come into this work. And so when we did our work together, it just started to click and be like, wow, there's so many other women in this world that you know, suffer from different fears and traumas and pains, and you know, no wonder I was scared. And so just our work together gave me such a insight and such healing, such transformation that I never even knew was possible. And I'm very grateful to you for that.
I love you, darling. You did so good. I feel like I felt so impressed with you. I still am in awe of you just daily. It just always happens. And just I love how you were so relentless, and you just were able to be so vulnerable. Even working with you felt really easy because you were just able to kind of drop into different layers of emotion and energy. And yeah, it's so interesting. It's interesting you as a visibility coach, because it's like, I think there's these, like, going after that of wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, but then having like a childhood that is not that, like, you know,
Yeah.
like the exact opposite to the extreme. Like not feeling wanted. That was a big one. Not feeling heard. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think another huge thing too is like our work just changed my work so much as a coach, because I think more than anything, you know, I think I always was drawn to a transformational coach. And in my work, you know, with you, I just realized the power of inner child work and of holding this space. And now you know, I use that in my own practice, which is so transformative, because it's just this, I mean, I saw how quickly my life changed. I mean, I think we did a few inner child sessions, and it was, I mean, it was, you know, it was almost like getting a stick of dynamite and going in there and just excavating. And I remember there was a few times that I called you, like, through the process, like, I can't even like get out of bed. Like, what am I supposed to do? But that was what was so beautiful about it, is that it was just such deep releases. And also just the community of women or men, you know, your group, your course, just the teachers that you have and the different modalities that you have that are so cool, that I'd never done journey work, you know. I had never experienced that. That was amazing. You know, I connected to Jesus. That was like,
you may connect to Jesus.
Yes.
Journey work.
But
this is not a religious program, but you may go there.
Yeah, not a religious program, but you know what I'd like to say is that, you know, Susan's program is so beautiful, because I think it's, you know, she has different kind of coaches and different things that go to different needs of the healing process. So it's so transformative. And, you know, if you're thinking about wanting to get to the next level in your life, I would 100,000,000% recommend this program, because there's never been another coach or another program that has transformed and changed my life as deeply and as quickly and as efficiently as you and your program.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah.
I love you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's so nice to hear that too. How
Yeah.
many programs do you feel like you invested in throughout your journey? Like, I know for me on my journey, it was a ton, and there's still many unfinished.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 before I got to
Mhm.
you. And a
Yeah.
lot of those were like self-study. I would say probably maybe 3 coaches before I got to you. But again, a lot of those were, group programs. At least 2 of them were.
Mhm.
And, they promise you the moon and the stars. And I'm grateful I did learn things from them, but I don't think anything has helped me in my business and my goals and my personal dreams more than working one on one with you.
Mm, I like that. You know what? It's so beautiful, and it's so interesting to hear that too, because I think that's what's happening these days in the whole coaching industry. Is there is such a drive, like you see it every day on Facebook, where it's like, make 100,000 a month, make 50,000 a month, and the only way to sometimes do that is to do group programs,
Yeah.
or unless people did more one-on-one and they hired a ton of coaches, that could be done that way.
Right.
But to do group programs, and it's never as effective as going deep down into,
Yeah.
those deepest memories. Like, I know with, and I'm going to ask you maybe to share a few of your experiences, because I always think it's good to, for people to seeing this being like, yeah, what was your trauma, or what was your story? And I think I love you sharing that, because your story is just so epic. And um
Thank you.
and yeah, because Melissa's story, like, we just need to get her on here one time just to tell her whole story, because it's that good. And she's just doing so amazing, having overcome all of it. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think there's so many coaches that just do the group work, and they don't really dive deep and teach people actually how to develop those tools themselves to go in
Yeah.
to their own stuff, because and be their own guru, learn how to have that emotional mastery, that emotional resilience. Like, I know for me, when I learned inner child work in psychotherapy school, that changed my life, and
Yeah.
it was a different day after that for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to share that with everyone. you know
Yeah, and I think what was so interesting that you taught me too is like no matter how, you can have every program under the sun, you can, do every manifesting thing, all
Yeah.
the things, but energetically, if you are not in an alignment with matching with what it is you're trying to bring into your life, none of that's going to work. you know, and you
Yes.
used to say to me,
Yes.
beep, work, play more. You used to
We can
tell
swear on here, Melissa. We can swear on
you
her
just say like,
here.
fuck work, play more. And that was something that was so hard for me to wrap my head around because
Yeah.
I had, just do, make things happen, grind, gotta hit this quota, all this stuff. But that energy was actually keeping me from, allowing and creating the success that I wanted. And I think when I joined your program, I mean, when I started doing this work with you, I think in like, a month, I signed 3 clients and got like 5
Yes.
calls booked, which was amazing because I had never had that before, even though I was spending hours on Facebook and doing all the things. And then you were basically like, you have to you have to just trust and all these things that were so foreign to me. And as soon as I started doing that, that's when my business started to change, like a lot. It was like, oh my God, I just signed 3 clients. Like, wow, my calendar is almost full. This is crazy.
Yes. I know, it's interesting, because there is that, like, that big thing in the industry with the hustle. Like, we gotta hustle. And Melissa is a workhorse. She is like, I don't know how many businesses she's in right now, but she, like, even just before this call, she was like sparkling up some ski goggles, and she just is like the woman of all trades.
Yeah.
But it it was funny. It's just funny, because I think we're taught that we need to do, and I love just pushing this point home, because I think we came from like the suck it up generation, which is like the workhorse generation, and it's all about like doing and achieving, and that energy. is just striving. And sometimes we don't realize we have to like actually give ourselves what we always wanted, which was like
Yeah.
ease and play and support. And it has nothing to do with work. It actually is just,
Yeah. And you would tell me that, and like my rational brain could not,
hmm,
like it was so against everything. But I kind of kept coming up in our sessions and in group and stuff. And so when I finally just like let go and decided to just say, you know, fuck work for the day, I'm going to go on a hike, or I'm going to go love
yes,
and nurture that part of myself that, you know, as a young girl always wanted, that love, that play, that nurturing. What do you need right now? You always used to say that,
yes,
like, what do you need right now? Listen to that. That was so
yeah,
beautiful, because I always, it always, you know, just like in my childhood, she was always, that was always put to the side. So when I really started listening to that, I couldn't believe like the results that I got, because like you would say, I'd be like in the mountains and someone would reach out to me like, hey, I want to hire you as a coach. And I'd be like, this is crazy. Like I am in the mountains right now. I didn't do anything. I am, you know, hanging out by a stream and somebody's, you know, connecting with me. And that was a huge learning that I also got from you know, really listening to what it is that you need right now and giving
wow.
yourself permission to hear that. That was changed my life.
I love it. I love it. You rocked it. Because Melissa would send me pictures of her hiking up the mountain. So it was really good. Um, yeah. What do you feel like, what else did you get? How did it, maybe you could share just briefly, some of your story of like what it was in your childhood, and maybe just like what you overcame as like with some other, you know, ahas you got from the program.
Yeah. So I think, you know, it was so interesting. Like I had been in therapy for a long time, like throughout my life. You know, I'd gone through a lot of trauma when I was really young, like 2 months old. My mom passed away. And then, long story short, my dad remarried, and then he married this crazy lady that was super abusive, and he was never in my life. So that's the cliff notes.
Yeah, Cliff Notes is
And
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, my whole life, that younger part of me was always put off to the side, and just I think my needs and my wants, and just like loving and being, almost being like my own, I'm going to kind of say mother, like just so like giving myself permission to live my life and to
Mhm.
create my dreams. That was a huge takeaway, because for so long I let other people's expectations, other people's
Yeah.
everything control me, because I wanted, you know, love. I wanted validation. I wanted my dad's approval, you know, all these
Yes.
things. And so it kept me really almost like in a box, like so
Yeah.
afraid to listen to my heart and to
Yeah.
trust my intuition, trust my soul. So when I came into your program and really, you know, started doing these different sessions with your coaches, and also with you connecting to that younger self, and it all just making so much sense. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder I'm terrified to make a video. Like, wow, you know, I like, no wonder I have always just wanted to be loved, and it's been such a struggle for me to be successful in business, because
Mhm.
all she wants is love, you know, just approval. And so I think a big aha for me was to put myself first, you know, to come from a place of my business of like service, of love, instead of it being like, you know, what I was learned from my dad, which was do, make money, gotta, you know, make $20,000. All that, like this very masculine energy. I finally started tapping into the feminine, you know, like,
Mhm.
and allowing myself to receive.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, my whole business changed, my life changed. And I just gave myself permission to listen to what I needed now,
Yes.
instead of running from that. So
Yes.
I think there was so many takeaways from this program. Anybody who's watching out there, I just so many beautiful moments of transformation and deep healing. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like I was given permission to be among other like-minded souls, like your community, the
Mm.
people in your courses, just hearing all their journey, their transformation.
Yeah.
There was some days where it felt like all of us were, I'm falling apart in the best of ways, as your group is called, what is it, Breakdown to Breakthrough? That is very
Yeah.
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely happens. Like for anyone that's kind of coming in, is definitely once you start to open the doors to deep therapy, you almost have to expect things to get worse,
Yeah.
uh, quite a
Yes.
bit worse before they
Yeah,
get better.
but that was just so
Mhm.
beautiful, is like all of us, your program, and everybody being so vulnerable and also just
Yeah.
so trusting and loving and supportive of each other, where it was like things were coming up, but it was also so beautiful because they were being released. And it
Yeah.
was like a safe space of everyone just holding each other. And I'd never experienced that before. It made me feel like I was part of a tribe, a group. And that's what's so
Mhm.
beautiful. I feel like you honestly are a soul sister.
Yeah.
I will always be connected to you. Your tribe is amazing. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it.
Aw, I love you. I want Melissa to move. Melissa lives in New Mexico. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, is that part of the United States? Yes,
Yeah.
people, part of the United States. You don't need a green card to come here. It is.
Yeah.
Santa Fe, Santa
We're
Fe.
trying to move her up here. We want her to move to Canada.
Yes, I want to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening.
Uh, I love you so much. So what would you say, and we'll wrap it up then, but it was such an honor. I think the group calls, I think it's lovely to sit in space. We had that on the group call last night, whereas people were like, one girl didn't want to open, and Candace actually, and she's just falling apart and she doesn't want to fall apart. And we're like, we don't want you to have it all together. Like, can you stop, you know, humiliating us by always having like, please, like, we don't want you to be okay.
In the most loving way. That's what's so
In the
beautiful.
most loving way.
Is when you, almost like when you surrender and
Yeah.
say, I've been carrying this shit around my whole life, and I'm done. I want it to go away because I know that something greater is on the other side. It's like walking over the coals, right? Like it's intense and it's crazy and all the things, but then you get to the other side and you're like, oh my God, I just did that. I can't believe that. And you're so energized and like reborn. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I felt like a phoenix rising after this. I'm serious. I'm so not even joking.
Oh, you're amazing. I love it. You are a phoenix. Fuck. Yeah. Well, okay. I love you. We're gonna wrap it up, but I thank you so much for coming on. And if one last thing, if there was anyone thinking about doing this program and they were nervous, maybe they've done a billion programs and nothing has worked, or they've done therapy and nothing has worked, or what would you say to them? What would be?
I would say that, if you're called and feel connected to, Susan and this community, and you are on the fence and you want to, heal, you want to get to the next place in your life, you want to let go of the things that no longer serve you, there is not a better coach or program that I would recommend. And I know it can be scary making big investments, especially if you've been in programs before, or you've been in debt, or all the things. Like when I entered Susan's program, I was terrified.
Well,
I was
yeah.
crazy in debt. I was like, oh my God, like it was just hitting all of this like fear and resistance, but there was such a desire for change that was greater than the fear of staying the same. And so if you're on the edge and you just are ready to change your life and transform and arrive to the best version of yourself, do this program 150% and work with Susan. She is the most amazing gifted coach. She's like my mentor. kind of like a guru.
So
So authentic.
I'm gonna have a huge ass head after this. Fucking fat. But yeah.
Such a guru. She is. She's just.
I do these testimonials just to boost my ego. Just like every day I'm like, you want to do a testimonial? You wanna do a testimonial?
Yeah, well, this is totally authentic from the heart. And she will always be my coach. She will always be in my life because she's been that transformative and that powerful and that kind and supportive and always wanted the best for me. And for her, it's not just, you're in my program, I'll never see you again. It's about really seeing you succeed and supporting you and guiding you and creating your best self. And I don't think you could ever put a price on that. So give yourself the best present that you possibly can give. Self-care and self-love. And have this beautiful woman in her program help heal you and get you to the next level in your life. I'm so happy I did. I wouldn't be where I am today without you, my dear. And I'm so grateful.
I love you.
I love you. Thank you guys for having me. I hope that you have all the most beautiful rest of your days.
Yes. And festive.
Reach out to Susan, ask her about her program, ask her how you can get on a call with her.
Yes.
Make it happen. Say yes to yourself. It's the best thing you can do.
I love it. Thank you so much. You're the best. And for anybody that's really wanting to like kickstart their New Year's resolutions and dive in and do something that's a little requires huge ovaries and balls, then definitely like jump on a call with me. Like I'll have a link below. And yeah, I love you all so much. It's amazing. We all deserve really to be seen and heard and transformed, have our life like live liberated,
Yes, which
what it's about.
I can attest to that. Such liberation. So thank you so much. And you're amazing.
Thank you, baby.
Bye.